the lodge. You'll see us on the clearing. We're quite close to them, Taylor. Opo. We'll pull out not too long. Henry will be at the site in the other position. Yeah, let's go with it. Okay, do that. Bye, guys.
Good morning everybody, and welcome to a very wild earth here this morning, here in Djuma Game Reserve. And what a wonderful way to start the drive, with lions right out here on the open area. And unfortunately they've already been spotted by the impalas, started alarm calling. But so far we can see 3 lionesses and 2 males, and it looks like it's the Nkahuma Pride with the Gajima males. Baboons were starting to call first thing this morning, but I must admit I wasn't expecting to see the lions here.
One, two.
And the impala are actually quite far away from the lions. I can just about make out the odd ear and tail flicking just on the western side, and they're slowly moving away to the west. The lions are looking. There we go, we've got an impala ramp also. I don't know where the 4th lioness is with the cubs at the moment, but all the impala are concentrating on the lions that are grouped together. Now with the distance between them, the lions really wouldn't have a chance at hunting one of the impala, especially with them being seen. Everyone's on high alert. Just watching the impala, and they're looking a little bit further down from where the lions are looking, so they could possibly be the other lioness a little bit further south from where we are at the moment. Thanks, eh?
How are you?
Good, thank you.
Yeah, Ryan is also coming. There's the other guy also coming.
Oh, okay. Okay, so there's two.
Yeah, two from other two, but not now.
Oh,
The
okay.
other one will come when this one comes.
Sharp. Enjoy your drive. Hi, Anne.
Come in from Boston.
Welcome on board to you. And you'd like to know how far away from the lines we are. Probably a good 20 meters or so. And I hope everyone's enjoying the start to Valentine's Day today. What a wonderful way to start the day. We haven't seen lions for a few days, so it's quite a wonderful surprise as we drove out this morning. And this looks to be the shorter maned male, his brother sitting a little bit further away.
Henry? Try
Now, males can have different coloured manes, and if you go more into Kruger National Park, from where we are, you get golden maned lions with no black in their manes at all. You can see this male here has a little bit of black in his mane. And a lot of Namibian lions will also have black in their mane. And a study was done, and it was found that females seem to prefer darker manes to golden manes, and if they have the choice, they'll choose a male lion with a dark mane, a long dark mane. As longer manes means that the lions are older, and if there's a choice between long golden manes and short dark manes, they're more likely to go for short dark manes. So they'll pick a younger animal over an older golden maned animal. Now once it warms up a little bit, they might move. And they may decide to spend the day here, but there's not too much shade. And it doesn't look like they were successful this time in hunting. Now the Unkahuma Pride are now numbering 4 females with 2 young male cubs. The other 3 males are roughly about 3 years old now, and they started moving away from the Pride. They would have been chased out by the females, stopping breeding. And also the older males out of their territory. So they must try and find their way in the world, maybe hold on to a territory of their own. And they're still probably a little bit young to do that. They need to grow a little bit, so they may be nomadic for another couple of years or so. You can hear a spotted hyena calling. Oh, there we go. Male is on the move. And the 2 Kojima males are still doing extremely well for themselves, even though there's only 2 of them, and the other coalitions in the area are, well, numbering 4, and the Mapocos possibly 3 now. And the Mapocos, even though they ruled this area for many years, after the Majingi lions moved in and killed Kinky Tail, after one of their own were killed by the 2 brothers, the single male that was left fled to the west and rejoined the rest of his coalition, leaving the Majingi lions in the area. And I think that has allowed the Gajimas to come further south again. Because it's been a long time since I've seen the Gajima males. I saw them March last year, and I never saw them since then. And the Majingi lions seem to be spending a lot more time further south in Mala Mala, and I think that's got a lot to do with it. They seem to be pushing the boundary again, because no one really seems to have claimed this area as their own, or on the boundaries of the territories. The Styx females also further south, and maybe that's why the Unkahumas are being seen a lot more down here again. At one stage they used to be down here quite often. They are beautiful females. I'm going to pull forward a little bit. Have another look at them. Oh, shame. Bless you. Well, they could spend the whole day here, and especially if it stays overcast. Then they might stay put, but it does look like it's opening up now. Good morning to you, Joe. And I can't see a kill at the moment. I don't know if they were successful or not. We haven't really had a good chance to look at the bellies. They seem to be quite interested in any movement. This does tend to suggest they could be still hungry. And apparently everybody was hearing lions calling last night, and it could well be the same lions. But it is difficult to say. I didn't hear them, but if you heard them very close to the dam, then I would have assumed it is the same lions. Now, there is one missing from their ranks, the one female with the cubs by the looks of it. Good morning to you. And it's very difficult to say if the lions will pull down a buffalo again. We haven't had any big buffalo herds come through here. So there's nothing to say that they won't if there's a buffalo herd that does come through. Could be that they're on the trail of a buffalo herd.
2, 3.
But so far they seem to be quite happy just sleeping and relaxing. And this is what lions do best, especially during the day. They sleep for long periods at a time. One thing about lions is they can be sleeping very soundly. And you think nothing's going to happen. And then they can become alert within a matter of seconds. And if there was a wildebeest or a buffalo that walked through here now, we'd see very different cats. And the bush is forever changing, so that's what makes it so unpredictable. You just don't know what's going to happen. So even when leopards or lions are like this, or even cheetah, it's always worth just spending a little bit of extra time, just in case something does happen. Morning. Good, how are you? Morning.
Me 1 minute. Standing by, guys. You recording, right? Okay, copy that. I'm just going to take 1 or 2 more shots and then I'm heading out.
I'd love to know the other lionesses with the cubs. Might be worth us checking a bit further south in a few moments. And maybe doing a lap around quarantine area. Morning. Good, how you doing? Yeah, for sure, hey? Oh really? It's been about a week for us. Yeah. Sure. It's nice. Okay, no worries. Yeah, please. That's wonderful, thanks. You too, have a good safari.
Stations. I'm leading a lot of these Ngala here with Abel, 2 vehicles on lot, Abel in charge of the lot. Basically 1, Ryan approaching.
I'm going to just see if we can move a bit further around and get another perspective on the lioness. She's sitting on the termite mound. It'd be quite nice to see if we can see her on the mound a little bit better. And it seems to be the same female that was sitting there last time we saw them here. It's quite a nice open vantage point, I think, for her. That's why she likes it. quite nicely the black on the ears. Most cats have white on the back of their ears. The lions have black. And again, that's going to be acting as a sign so the others can see each other in the long grass, but also used for communication depending on how the ears are held, just like a normal house cat. And even the black tip on the end of their tail, little cubs can follow. You can hear the dawn chorus as well. Cave turtle doves calling, woodland kingfishers, sparrows. Such a beautiful morning.
Three. Station's got somebody other boys.
Well, should we see if we can do a lap around Quarantine or down to Galley Dam and just see if we can come back in a short while. They do look like they're pretty well settled in. But I would like to come back just as it starts to get a little bit warmer. They might start to seek shade. I did hear a hyena a little bit further south, so it'd be quite nice to see if that hyena found anything, or maybe see if we can find tracks of the other lioness. I certainly would like to come back in a little while, if we're able to. I'm gonna just see if I can have a look around for the other Mafazi and Gala, just in case she's still in the area. Some more impala actually heading this way. They seem to be a little bit skittish. Slow down, lady. So they keep looking over that way. They possibly did hear the alarm calls. You don't want to be running that way, lady. And she's got a tiny, tiny baby. I'm just going to see if I can just turn the nose around a little bit without startling them. Able, come in. There's some mala here. I don't know if you can see them where I am.
Okay, I can book one Mafazi is looking for you there, so yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a wiser choice, lady. It is difficult to say. There is one female looking in that direction. Quite why she was running this way when the rest of the herd started heading south. That could be the reason why she's changed her mind, because the other 2 or 3 impala that she was with started heading down towards the dam. Now from this side the lines are pretty well concealed, and there's a slight breeze. It's choppy and changey, but it does seem to be bringing the scent of the lines down towards them. Why she's splitting herself off the rest of the herd, I don't know. Unless she's wanting to make it through to where the main herd is on the western side. But if she's not careful, she's going to walk right up to where those lions are. Lioness, she's coming down from Tryon Park. The lioness that we were watching at the Termite Mine is coming off the mound, and I don't know if this impala's seen her. I think she could be hidden by the bush. But I'm pretty sure she's going to be able to smell her. She gets... And the other lioness has put her head up now. There you go, she's seen her. Are we able to maybe show the female and show her stance? It would just be quite nice to show that posture, if we can. You can see that alertness, the ears forward, the eyes forward, the nose to detect any smells. She's up now, obviously wondering how many are there, where are they? There's some squirrels just to our left running around the tree, and that's what she's now looking at. Quite interesting to see that posture though. When we say that animals are alarm calling, that's the posture that we look out for. Still looking, I don't want to get in the way of them. I'm going to just by getting in the way of them, if I stop her visual of them, it could give the lions an unfair advantage. And animals, predators, have used vehicles to hunt. I've heard of cheetahs sitting on bonnets of vehicles to give them that elevation. I've even heard of further north in Africa, Kenya, Tanzania way, if there's a lot of vehicles around a kill, usually that will attract a lot of vehicles, the hyenas immediately seem to be aware of that, and they will go and see if they can get the food. Even leopards walking with the vehicle, so as the vehicle moves, the leopard walks, masks the sound of their movement. So we've always got to be mindful of that and not try and influence behaviour at all. And even putting a spotlight at night on either predator or prey, that can influence how the kill happens. I think you'd be better off going back down towards where the others went, Mrs. I still don't understand exactly why she decided to walk on her own, but she is looking over the other side now. Maybe she was hearing or smelling the other impala, or maybe even seeing. And that's the normal outcome. Lions aren't always successful in hunting. In fact, most cats aren't always successful in hunting. Hello. Squirrel's decided that it's actually seen the lions now. I'm just going to move around again and see if the lines have moved a little bit, or if they look like they're going to move. Otherwise we'll do that lap around the quarantine area and see if there's any sign of that hyena that was calling. I might even be able to see the squirrel. It's quite nice to show you all the aspects of what we're looking out for. The squirrel's moved further into the tree. It's just in this marula tree to my left. Oh, he's gone again. Oh, sorry, mister. He's too busy looking at what the impala was still doing. You're still not happy with us, mister? You see, his head came up and his back went up. Yes. Just hoping to get just a little bit further around so we could have a look at the face of the lioness, but there's a big bush in the way. Obviously it was just a little bit too close for him. We're probably about the same distance as we were before, and it just goes to show they can change constantly. It was just telling me, hey, that was just a little bit too close, that's why I just backed off a little bit. And you can see his whole body language has changed again. He's now looking away from us. This is the slightly larger of the two males and longer mane. Sandy was wanting to know the distance between the impala and the lions. It's actually quite a large distance. I'd say probably about 80, 100 meters. But it may not sound a great distance, but remember the impala can run pretty fast. And at that distance they will be able to outrun the lions, and the lions know that. So it's not worth their effort. Jackson, please. Andrew, come in. Ryan, please. Okay, well let's see if we can make that lap then. Line's quite settled in. I just want to do a lap around the open area. See if there's any signs or tracks. And it is just starting to warm up slightly, so I would like to come back. I'll just put his head up at the moment. Now I can just about feel that sun coming through. You are beautiful, mister, and you know it, hey? A very black nose showing that he is a pretty old lion. I think someone did have some leopard calling around the dam around 2:30 this morning. It sounds like there's quite a lot of activity around the waterhole. We heard the lions calling and the leopards soaring. It's amazing, our female impala is still there. Still in the same spot as we left her. We'll see if we can move around the corner and have a look at the lionesses in the sunlight. I'll go around the other way so not to disturb him. I'm just going to walk this way. Where are you going, lady? You're going to be seeking shade already. Yep. Ryan Rankin.
Two.
Where did the other male go? See him? Can you see him? We might be able to get a bit of perspective here with the impala on the left and the lionesses on the right. Oh, there he is. He's actually lying right next to the lioness. Flat, flat, flat on the right. She's busy stretching. There he is. This goes to show even a big male like that can hide. All he has to do is just lie down flat. Ryan Rankin. Maybe if we can just pan across to where the impala is. She's still not really willing to move too far. Could be because she's not too sure how many lions there are, or where they all are. Because remember, from her perspective, I think she's only seen 2. I think today she's going to be safe. Unless she decides to walk straight up to the lions. As long as she keeps that distance, she'll be okay. She seems to be quite determined to walk this way though. The lions have got their heads down at the moment. There's one male looking towards the west. But if she comes much further, if he turns around, he's going to see her. What does it say? There you go, she's seen them. Hi, Carol. Good morning to you. And you'd like to know, is it normal for a lioness to walk away with the cubs, and why would she do it? And I have seen lionesses move away from the pride, and I'm not entirely sure why they do it. There's a lioness walking towards the male now. She's going back to her spot on the mound, I think. And it could be that she's teaching them to hunt, because they would be around 6 months old now. So maybe they caught something small and she's feeding with them. They won't be eating or drinking milk now. Ryan, can in?
Sorry, can you copy me?
I can now. I've got your audio. On the northern side, if you come up onto the northern side, you should be able to look at the Ungala. Now I've got your vision now.
join.
Affirmative. Now the cubs are still going to be a little bit too small to really join in the hunts that the pride go on. We have seen them watch the hunt of the buffalo, but they're just going to be a little bit too small, and the possibility of them getting injured is going to be great, and they're not really going to be able to do much with a buffalo or anything too large. But she may be starting them small, maybe a small impala or a warthog, baby warthog. But it could be that's why they're not with the pride. Maybe they have found something and eaten something. Now impala is still making their way around. There is another few impala further to the north now, and she's seeing them and I think she's wanting to get to them. It's quite interesting. The other impala can't see what she's seeing, so they're looking, but they're not taking up the alarm call at the moment. Her attention's just been taken by the other impala running. But again, the gap is just far too great. Oh, she might not think that she can catch it, but she's certainly watching it quite intently, possibly waiting for the impala to make a mistake, that she might be able to take the opportunity. Especially with the youngster, she's got a 3-month-old lamb with her. female, another female's getting up. Slowly moving into the shade. And there goes the male. Morning, Gail. Good to hear from you. Hope you're doing well. And you'd like to know if they have made a kill. The belly doesn't look thin, but it doesn't look full either. Maybe they had something small. But if they were full, would they still go and hunt? And it really does depend on how full they are and the opportunity. You know, if an antelope walked right into a pride of lions, and we have seen it on occasion. I remember somebody telling me the story of the pride all passed out after quite a big meal, and a bushbuck didn't know they were sleeping, and it was quite a young bushbuck, and it walked right into the pride of lions. And as it tried to jump out the way, one of them just turned around quickly and grabbed it. So if the opportunity presents itself, they may just take that opportunity, but it really does depend, I think, on how good the hunting opportunities are in the area. So if the hunting opportunity is not great, maybe they're more likely to go for it so that they have the next meal, because they don't know when they're going to get the next meal. And if the hunting opportunities are pretty good, they might just decide to leave it. And especially if they are very full, they're not going to be wanting to move around too much. But it really does depend on the opportunity. I mean, this impala is still quite far. There's not really any chance, unless that fourth female is hidden somewhere and she ambushes this impala. There's not really much chance of these lionesses pulling down this female. As I say, there could have been an opportunity there, what she was waiting for, maybe getting a little bit closer, maybe making a mistake at how close she was getting. And as I say, that lioness was looking, but the distance is just too great. Now, one female that we haven't seen for a long time, who's actually the fifth member, or the fifth lioness of the Nguma Pride, is Snaggletooth, and we haven't seen her for a long time. No one's heard of her for a while, no one's seen her for a while, and she was supposed to have had cubs at one stage, but we haven't heard or seen of them either. But we are keeping our ear to the ground, and if we do get any news of her, we'll certainly let you know. But for the time being, there is only 4 females in the Nkehuma Pride and 2 cubs, male cubs of about 6 months now. But I think let's leave them to it. It looks like they may even stay on this open area. It really does depend on what the weather's going to do, I think. So let's go for a little drive around and maybe see if we'll still hear a little bit later on. Just in the shade of this weeping maple here on our right. They're very interesting to see the interactions, and you don't often get a chance to see it from the prey's perspective. It's quite a nice setup that we had there, so you can actually see how the prey reacts and how the predators react. And what we look for, so when we say that there's alarm calling, that's exactly what we listen out for, that's snorting. And that's a universal language between antelope and zebra and all sorts of other animals, and they each pick up on that alarm call. The squeal that you're hearing as well, also very important. So when we say that we can hear a squeal calling, you can see the distance is also about 100 metres. There's another squeal calling from this side, another 100 metres or so. It took a little while for the squirrels to see, I think. They were too busy fighting each other, I think, over territory, sort of chasing each other around the tree. But who knows, throughout the day, something may walk there. These impala are probably going to keep their distance. But if the wildebeest come up, and they don't know, and they don't see, there's no smell, they're in the wrong direction for it. And there's nothing to say those lions won't hunt during the day. But they won't actively go out and look unless they're extremely hungry. As you can see, these guys all on the ledge. They're all looking about them, they're all keeping a watch out, because again, they don't know how many lions there are. As far as they're concerned, there is a predator in the area. It's almost keep your enemies close and keep your friends close and your enemies closer. So even though there is a predator in the area, there's nothing to say there's another predator elsewhere. So as long as they can kind of keep them in their sights, they're less likely to be able to jump out at them. keeping a lookout for any leopard tracks from that leopard that was calling this morning. And apparently we may have a surprise down here at the dam, which would be awesome. So if it's still there. The lions were here. Got nice big tracks of the Gajima males. I forgot who was asking earlier, but I think it was the same lions that you were hearing down by the dam. Ooh. There's a woodland kingfisher in the tree with something very large in its mouth. Oh, is it called a frog? Nice. Can you see it there? And there's he sitting it on the branch. Wow. That was the first time I've ever seen a woodland kingfisher with a frog. Birch pickle just flew in and scared off our woodland kingfisher. That was wonderful though, to actually see that. And there's the surprise, he's still here. Wonderful. We're just past this bush here. How's that? actually. He is quite big. So everyone's got to thank Patrick for spotting him. And we've got an Egyptian goose on the right and a water thickney on the left. Basking in the sun, starting to warm up. Stations Wonkwena Garida. Now there won't be much point to the crocodile eating the birds. They'll be able to fly off before you even have a chance really to even think about trying to snap at them. But once they're in the water, it could be a different scenario altogether. Now I'm just trying to have a look to see how many Egyptian geese are left there. It looks like there's still 3. Three goslings and 1 adult, so I'd love to know what happened to the others. So at one stage we had, I think, 6 or 7 goslings. It could have been the crocodile, it could have been something else, maybe a leopard. It's difficult really to say for sure. And crocodiles will also allow some birds to pick out bits of meat from the teeth. And I'm pretty sure the didcot, or the thickney, as it's now called, is one of those birds. I'll have to double check that. It's been a long time since I've seen that. But when they have the mouth open for temperature regulation, that's when the birds can come in and take little particles from the teeth, any meat that's been stuck in between the teeth. And obviously the crocodile will benefit by having all those bits of meat that are lodged in between the teeth. Maybe it can be quite painful sometimes. It keeps his dental hygiene up to scratch. And again, this is pretty much what you see crocodiles doing most of the time. And the courtship behaviour is quite interesting, and they do make quite a lot of noise, and they will produce that noise, and it's quite a deep bellow. And when a male is wanting to mate with a female, and if she allows him, Birchall's cuckoo's calling in the background. If she allows him, he'll start to make the water vibrate on his back, and some will even spurt water out of the mouth to try and impress the females. And as he approaches her, he'll vibrate the water, and then it's almost as if it subdues her, I think. And then he'll be allowed to mate with her. But quite interesting behaviour. But otherwise, they will bask in the sun. He's warming up his body, so that he may be able to hunt and digest whatever he has caught later on. And you may even be able to see the little ridges all down his body, and they increase his surface area. So he's able to gain as much heat from the sun as possible. His cartilage shoots all down the back contain blood vessels. And just like any other reptile, they need to warm up the body before they're able to eat and digest. And like mammals, we eat to produce heat. Reptiles have to increase their body temperature via the warmth from the rocks or the sun before they're able to eat and digest their food properly. And that's why a lot of snakes in captivity and pets, a lot of people find they won't eat after a little while, and it could be that they're too cold. Water thickney calling there. I'm seeing the baboons, so let's see if we can catch up with them. Hopefully the crocodile's going to stick around. I don't think he's going anywhere anytime fast. And the white-faced duck's flying over. I'm pretty sure the baboons know the lions are around. So they've come down this way rather than out onto the open area. Just opened his mouth. And we can get a quick look of him opening his mouth. The Egyptian goose has got a little bit worried now. Also aids in temperature regulation by opening the mouth. And it would be difficult for it to catch something at this stage, being out on the bank. They'll hide in amongst the vegetation in the water, and they'll ambush any animal that comes down to drink. And a crocodile this size would take down a baboon or an impala. Maybe it could even take down a wildebeest, quite possibly at this size. Might be a little bit big for it though. Otherwise eating fish in here. Maybe birds. But they can get twice the size and weigh in around a ton sometimes. But this crocodile looks probably big enough to be able to breed. It's probably just coming up for breeding now. And it's more dictated by size than age, so it can be anywhere between 10 or 15 years old. Usually have to be around 2.5–3 meters in length to breed. I've been trying to see if there's another way we can see it, and at that side of the bank, if I was to try and approach it, he's actually going to be hidden by the branches. If we try and pull him from that side, we're more likely to scare it back into the water. So this is the best view that we're going to have of him, or her. It's difficult to tell male and female apart. This is the only crocodile we have here in South Africa, the Nile crocodile. Well, let's see if we can catch up with the baboons. I am hoping this crocodile's going to stick around here. That seems to be his favourite, or her favourite basking point. At least it's one that we can see it quite nicely from. Lisa, good morning to you, and you'd like to know, morning, you'd like to know why do the birds stay so close to such a dangerous animal. As I say, they would be able to fly away before he would really have a chance to turn his head and catch them, so there's no point the crocodile really trying to eat birds on land. The danger comes in when they're in the water. They may even be using him for protection. Keep saying him, it, for protection. If there's anything wanting to eat them is going to be avoiding that crocodile. They're all nice and spread out again, so I think the troop have started coming to terms with what happened with the baby baboon. I'm hoping they're going to walk across the road. The rest of the troop are on that side. Baby in the tree here. I think this is little Huey. Don't pull that cord, that's our microphone. And Mrs. Psycho and her baby, and I think Graham's actually sexed it as a female. So I think it's called Evelyn. And that'll be quite nice to increase the numbers a little bit. Let's see if I can pull my nose in around here. Well, the grass is getting a little bit long there now. it's starting to move this way, so I'm hoping they're going to come out into this slightly open patch here. You can see them poking their heads up above the vegetation. One of the bigger males seems to be on guard at the moment, sitting in the tree. There's little Albie there, just walking away from us. The mother that unfortunately lost her baby. Oh, here comes the male, he's coming down the tree now. It's quite a nice shot of him. Right, I'll just pull back around again. And from that vantage point you should be able to see if there's any leopards or any danger to the family around. Baboons spend more time on the ground than other monkeys like the vervets. Quite interesting. He came down the tree and the rest of the troop, the heads went up. goes. And the impala herd are coming down, so if the lions do come down here for whatever reason, there's going to be quite a lot of eyes on the lookout and ears. I've got another couple of baboons on that same tree. Nice little vantage point there, actually. It's going to be difficult for a leopard to sneak up on them. It's always nice to catch up with the Gowrie gang, and it's nice to see they're looking a lot more settled than even just 5 or 6 days ago. I'm quite keen to head down towards Chulapan. Let's have a drive down there and see if there's any sign of leopard tracks. And maybe even any sign of a hyena. And we might see if we can rejoin the lions in a little bit. Crocodile's still there. Keep an eye on the movements there. I think some of you were saying baboons giving each other a kiss for Valentine's Day. To feel the love. From Africa with love. Too many tracks here. Hippo tracks. We do have new viewers and would like to learn a little bit more about the Gowrie Gang, the Baboon Troop. There's a Facebook fan page, and Graham, who does research on the baboons, does put up new pictures and information about the baboons. So if you would like to follow that. And there is also a page for the leopards and the lions. If you write anything about them, they try and put it up on their pages as well, so that you have some information about each and every one of them. Texan, come in. just thinking about what I was saying earlier about the crocodile and not moving fast enough for the birds before they flew off. Don't be fooled into thinking crocodiles are not fast on land. They'll be able to outrun a human, no problem. And they can move when they need to, especially when they're nice and warm. Oh, there's an elephant walking down here. Hey, squirrel. What's so impressive is the fact that their body design has not changed for many thousands of years. It's probably one of the ultimate predators. It's still alive today. Have a quick look down here at Chelapan. Sitting underneath the gardenia. One of these days, we'll see a leopard over there. Down towards the down quickly. Interesting question there, Sue. Good morning to you. Welcome on board. Very interesting. Asking why do animals not alarm call for the crocodile and yet other predators they do. And I think possibly it's extremely well camouflaged. It's very difficult to pick out a crocodile. And they don't really move too much on land. And it could be a whole number of reasons. Maybe that's one of them, the fact that they tend to take down the prey in the water. So it's very localized and it doesn't tend to move too far. I'm pretty sure if a crocodile attacks, there'll be alarm calls. Crocodile is not really known for running down its prey, so maybe that has something to do with it. What am I seeing there? Am I seeing just a rock through there? Yeah, piece of wood, and it just looks like the tips of the leopard's ears. Animals haven't learned to associate the crocodiles with being a predator like the cats do, because if they are in the water, you don't tend to see much of them. We haven't really seen the animals around the crocodile when it's out. I've ever seen on any nature programs of animals also giving an alarm call with crocodiles out and about. I remember seeing a lot of crocodiles on the banks of rivers, but not too many animals around them. A very interesting one, so I have to do a little bit more research I think on that one. That's my thoughts on it at the moment. I think a lot of it's got to do with the fact that it isn't a predator that really moves around too much to hunt their prey. They rely heavily on the water. The animals seem to know to keep the distance from it on the land. They do seem to be a little bit wary of it. Doesn't seem to be too much happening down this side. Hoping I might see a rhino wallowing in the mud. I've seen rhinos down here a few times now. Maybe even elephants. Just the blacksmith lapwings. Still around, the Egyptian geese. Always worth a try. Could also be the fact that we don't get many crocodiles around here. So the animals may just be reacting differently to it than other animals in other areas. Thinking of the bird migration, and the animals do have a fear of going through the water. Because of all the crocodiles. breakers rely on speed quite heavily. More antelope. Leave Nest Road at the moment. I'd love to know where those hyenas went. There was such a scene hyena. Hyenas did walk this side. Are there any stations still within Gala? Are there any in Ghana on the open area in Boyatella. Here on the right. Lots of hyena tracks here. No tracks of the female with the cubs, the lion. Let's see how they're doing. See if they're on the move or not. Oh. I see one on the termite mound. So I think that possibly answers our question. But it'd be fantastic if they do stay. Have taken shelter underneath the weeping wattle where we saw them going to earlier. I can put my nose this side. Okay. I'm not facing them head on. So beautiful with those red flowers around her, the red star zinnia, Zinnia peruviana. Well, the termite mound will still have quite a bit of heat from the day yesterday, probably still. That's keeping her warm, I think. It looks like it's probably still an active termite mound, so the heat from inside will also be keeping her warm. Pure power. Every muscle in her body is so well tuned. I'm hoping they might just call for the other lioness, although it is starting to warm up now. So the calls aren't going to carry too far. That's one of the reasons why lions do call, and they'll start usually calling as it gets cooler, when the air settles, so the call can carry much further afield. So we may be lucky enough to hear them tonight, if that other lioness hasn't located them. But I have known lionesses to break away from the pride. We've seen it also with the Styx pride. They break up. And I've also seen when the pride is called to try and locate other members, and I've been sat with the other members and they haven't called at all, and that was when they did make a kill. Could possibly have been because they weren't getting enough food. The males were taking most of the food and the alpha female. It could have been that they just needed that little bit extra, so they refused to call and tell them where they were. And a few days later they were joining the pride again. It was quite interesting. But I think they are hungry. I mean, you can see every movement they are watching. And they haven't gone really into a deep sleep yet. I think they're still hoping there'll be an opportunity for them to eat. The male might be moving, otherwise he might just stay put and groom. He's yawned a couple of times now. When cats yawn, it's increased the oxygen into their lungs, and obviously more oxygen into the lungs is going to be able to feed more oxygen to the muscles. So if they do yawn fairly constantly, there's a possibility that they're going to stand up and move. And remember, their eyesight is even more powerful than ours, maybe 5 or 6 times better than our eyesight. Hi, Jody. Great to hear from you this morning in New Mexico. And quite an interesting question from you. Wanting to know how long before lions won't recognise each other. How long do they need to stay apart before they won't recognise each other? You say that you've had cats that have been separated for a while and they no longer recognise each other. And I find that quite unusual there, Jody, because even if they have been separated for quite a substantial period, they should still recognise each other. Maybe it's that they've stopped tolerating each other. Maybe that's why you may see aggression towards each other. And it depends on how they've been separated. But I'd be very surprised excuse me, if they no longer recognise each other. I think it may have something to do with territorial boundaries. But certainly, if a female is going to give birth, she'll separate herself from the pride, and she may be separate from the pride for a few days or a few weeks. Depends on how far the pride travel. It could be that she's away from them for a couple of months. And that's one of the reasons why cats groom each other so much, or the lions groom each other so much. It's strengthening the bonds between the pride members. And you'll see, unfortunately she had her back to us, but the female that's sitting in front, she went up and gave the other female a bit of a nuzzle. And that's also a greeting, and especially if lionesses or even lions haven't seen each other for a while, they'll go up and greet each other, and it'll be quite a big celebration almost if they haven't seen each other for a while. But even just if they've been lying in separate spaces and they come over, they'll bob their heads as a greeting. And if you've got pet cats at home, you'll notice if you've been away from the house, or the cat has been away from the house, and if it's quite a sociable cat, it'll come up and start nuzzling its head, and quite often they like to nuzzle your head as well, and that is a sign of a greeting. I love that pose of a male. He's grooming. It just really brings it home how much like a domestic cat they are. Texan, come in.
This is not wrong. Inside Douglas Took, one of Gurula Mapepa.
Copy. I was just interested in which one it is. Do you know?
Looks like an Duna.
Copy. Thank you. Any update on the encounters you had around Sandy Patch? Any update on the ingrain consoles you had around Sandy Patch?
Yeah, Android tried that, but we're no luck.
Copy. Does it look like it's from Karula?
Not too sure if it was my mother or my daughter. Yeah, I think it might be Gugula. Because she was somewhere in Arachus and Dow, very close to Triple M on the power line, on that transformer side.
Copy. Thank you so much, Texan.
Is that the Dallas still in the same block?
Affirmative, same lock. Ah, there we go. It took him a while. He eventually decided to stand up. And mark the tree there. One eye, just keeping a check on everything. Exactly as I was saying, goes to greet his brother with his head. Now with the two males sitting next to each other now, you might be able to see that difference in mane length as I was talking about. The male on the right does seem to have slightly longer mane than the male on the left. And that was the male who was mating with one of the Nkahuma lionesses a couple of weeks ago. And just to give you an update, the guys have found what looks to be Induna, further north on Buffelshoek property. And they did find some tracks over towards Sandy Patch of possibly Karula. And they have been trying to follow up on that, but they haven't had any success at the moment. Well, let's have a little drive down towards Zoe's Road. See if there's anything around there. I am hoping that the lines are going to stay around. So I think we're extremely lucky to see them today. And it's even better the fact that they haven't started walking off yet. Remember last time we had them here, they started walking up towards Gallego Shortcut. It seems to be they may spend the day here, so we may be lucky enough to see them a little bit later on. And with them still looking quite intently around them and still very alert, you never know. We may try and catch some dinner tonight. the western side. I don't think anyone's tried down there yet. I hope that we do get a chance to see the cubs a little bit later on. Maybe the female with the cubs will come and join the rest of the pride. Stations not open at the Ngala and Mugwai. Hyenas also go down here. If the lions are around, we know that the hyenas coming out as well. See if the lions have been successful. We're going to be able to get this magpie shrike just flew off. Magpie shrikes are very close. Just as I tried to turn the camera, they flew off. It would be unusual to see a hyena out and about during the day. They tend to find somewhere nice to go and rest. Usually communal communal den, which I think could be just behind camp at the moment. There's very thick bush there. Very difficult for us to get in there. Follow the hyenas. We have seen them go up there a few times, and there's been a lot of hyena tracks in that area. The hyena, the impala, moved to. No sign of our elephant friend here. Looking a little bit bemused. I suppose I would be if I had a crowd of lions in my grazing area. Time certainly seems to fly here in the bush. I think these impala are trying to keep a very close watch out for any sign of those lions in case they do make their way down here. I hope the impala do stay safe down here. I'm sure they will throughout the day. But thank you very much for joining us. I hope you have enjoyed this wonderful morning here in Djuma Game Reserve in the African bush. And hopefully we'll see you again soon on Wild Earth. But take care from myself and the rest of the crew. Have a great day. Bye for now.
Good morning, everyone. This is Patrick speaking, panel control. What a great drive this morning. With the lines, the Crocodile, the Gowrie Dam, and apparently they blockaded Induna somewhere out of our concession, and but I didn't actually get where he's located, and he might come through onto Sangari during the course of the day or tonight. So we'll see how it goes again this afternoon. So please join us, and I hope it will be another fantastic game drive once again this afternoon. I don't think his Lions will go anywhere far from quarantine. So hopefully we'll get to see them again this afternoon. So from me, Patrick, and the rest of the crew, I'll be saying goodbye, and I'll see you later again this afternoon. Bye for now.